So what I'm going to talk about is Mural. So Mural is something, maybe you've heard about it. It's one of many online whiteboards. So this applies to some other things. I've heard of Miro is one that I think the nursing school might use, and I've heard of Padlet. I can't compare and contrast them because I haven't used the other ones, but this is what I use. It's great because it's free. So it's not maybe obvious that it's free, but if you email them and say, hey, I'm an educator, I'd like an educational account, they'll give you an educational account for free. I currently have, I think, 150 guests in mine, which is plenty for the students that I have. So I'm going to just demo this a little bit. This is actually a real mural that I was using less than an hour ago for one of my first classes. I always like to try to demo my technology. So this is what I call an orientation. And I just copied this from some of the templates they have. And this is just an orientation that shows them how to use it on the left-hand side, which I'm not going to go through in the interest of time right now. And then I have them over here and do this little exercise, which this goes through. It's a combination of helping them to practice using Mural and also introducing themselves to each other. So I use this in class, and what I do is I have them, I say I want them to relate to each other. Make a connection, right? So find something in someone else's job that you connect with, right? And so, like today, some students were talking about how we had several former military folks, a few people that had worked in golf jobs and stuff like that. And you can see that you can do a lot of things with this. So these are sticky notes that you can do. You can embed images. You can embed links, right? So that's what this is. So if you want to do a hyperlink, you can hyperlink a web page. You can embed PDFs. So there's all sorts of media that you can embed in here to kind of tell a story or to collaborate. And what I like about it is that it's a combination. It's sort of like a combination of your online whiteboard and Google Sheets, but with a lot more flexibility. And so let me show you, this is sort of an intro thing that I do, but let me show you something that's a little bit more pedagogical, which is this one. So this is what I call, this is an overview of my entire class, basically in visual form. And so I teach finance, so you might recognize this. This has to do with financial statements. But I talk about the different topics we're going to do. So this is topic 1, and then we move down here to topic 2 and 3 are down here at the bottom. They don't work, they're not going around in a clock circuit. It has to do with how this is set up. There's topic 4 and topic 5. And so I can talk through each of the different topics, and this is sort of a visual presentation of what we're going to be going through. And I tell them that over the course of the class, we're going to be adding sticky notes to this, and sort of it turns into sort of like a cheat sheet, right? Where they have formulas or they have important things that they want to remember, but they get to add it along the way. Mm. And then another exercise I did today over here on the right-hand side, you can see we did this earlier today. This is what's called a KWL, a know, a want, and a learn. So what do I know already? What do I want to learn? And what have I learned? So we did the first 2. So the bottom one is empty. So what have I learned? Obviously, we just had the first class, so that's not open yet. And so this is where they put some questions in there about what they want to learn, or I guess maybe some statements, I suppose, about what they want to learn, and things about what they already know. And so this has worked pretty well for me in terms of getting students to interact kind of in my synchronous sessions. One of the things I like about this is that it gets us away from staring at all these little boxes on the screen. And it kind of gets us sort of all on the same side, all looking at something else. Like the metaphor is sort of like sitting in a room and everybody's looking at the whiteboard. You're not looking at each other, you're all looking at the whiteboard instead. And I think that it's almost like it gives people a break instead of staring at each other in the screen. So that's weird. Like we don't normally do that, right? You don't sit in a meeting and like stare intently at each other's faces in the meeting, right? A lot of the times you're looking at your papers, or you're looking at the whiteboard that you're collaborating on, or you're looking at something else. And so it kind of gives people sort of a psychological break. The second question, I think I'm still on time. This one won't be as long actually. It's talking about how do I keep my students on track? And this is sort of a, I guess this is sort of an endorsement of the OCDI this summer, because I kind of just copied what they did, but it's worked really, really well, and I got great feedback on it, which is I just created modules for my course. So this is the same course that I was talking about that I ran at 12 o'clock today. It's my corporate valuation course. And so you can see here on the left-hand side, you can see like I literally have a section here that says classes, and here is class 1. And then here we are right here in class 1. And I totally copied this from the OCDI, right? So here's what we're doing this module. Here's a little video entry. talking about what the objectives and is. I put in here application, like what they're going to be doing, what their deliverables are. A little bit silly for today. Maybe we can look at something that has a little bit more to it. We'll jump down to class 4. So this is actually has some content, more content to it. Talking about computing some metrics. They're going to be creating an Excel sheet, and here's what they should be doing to kind of keep track with what they're doing in groups. Here's what they need to do. They need to click through to read these topics in Top Hat. Here's another PDF that they need to click. Here's some practice where they're going to click this link and it's going to open an Excel spreadsheet. And then here's what they need to do. After they do that, they click on this, and this is the video of me going through that worksheet. And then we have a discuss. So to open up a discussion module where they can answer these questions, where it's intersecting what's going on with RH. It's a firm, it's Restoration Hardware, and kind of how do their metrics relate to the firm's business model. We talk a little bit about uncertainty. And then I always tell them when they get down to this where it says meet, once you've gotten to the meet thing, that means you're ready for class, right? So if you've done everything up and the next task is meet, that means it's time for us to meet together. And you can see here, this is links for Zoom and in person. And then I've got a reflection here at the end. But I've gotten some good feedback from students that they like this. It's very checklist-ish, where you just kind of go through and you do these things in order. And then you know that once you've done these things, you're ready for class. So that's it. Those are my 2 things.